Yes, welcome back. Mwawo Chukwudi, Ndewo. Anabem here nakwa agụpụta the content of my diaries for clarity. The situation of things now in this family. I warrantella my reading out my diaries in an effort to document much further and to keep as evidences things that might want to surface in future as an evidence at their mama, because this matter basara whatever has happened or whatever Mike no muniada ekuka basara the whereabout of our kid brother Joe. Like as I said, I might not want to let it slip by. I might want to continue to dig. So most of the things here Neku might be things that might want to, or I will want to use as an evidence at the mama mahioge mecha for the oku court. So ekwula moku basara the otu ojidiri important to bring Joe's body back to Nigeria, and why it was not actually possible because of the circumstances surrounded his passing as somebody who committed crime. So that already said, and it has put some clearance to the fact that one of them I will have to rest on my request that Joe's body should be brought back to Nigeria. Because, like as I said, I never knew these circumstances until somebody else cleared the air for me. So that said already, and now Anagame shift to the issue of the 43,000 euros, because all the time I was banking on the fact that when Aiga Bakasoko, if things was done accordingly, Aiga Bakasoko na that amount begin to negotiate how to return our body, because Nwafibu had he suppose ishi nwadi ala di ato number according to Ndibu, but I think Sabangwena. So I suppose you na that amount be bido bani woku yaroma, like as I said, yaroma ego ahe ezuhi. I got taxi on one add ego to it, e.g. Papulu, our brother. But it was not possible to do that. So when I only begin now to talk about what has happened to that money. But a recorded video of the transaction between the person onyere the money to Franca. So that we also have to play and hopefully that video. And I don't blame the family. If I request for that video, they might decide not to give it, because that is their own evidence that yes, that money have left their possession to Franca's hand. So there's no need of trying to copy that video to somebody else. I have not requested for that video, but maybe in future that video might want to surface. I don't know. So let me concentrate on that the money which Franca have received. And there is also, with what I know, staying here in Europe, like now a struggle, that amount 43,000 euros. I don't know what it represents, or for the period after Mjirikwe. I don't invest in sending vehicles to Nigeria. When also ego n'aka Yaroma inquiries was made to be able to ascertain the source of that money, which bank did that money was retrieved. And according to the European law, at that time, let me just say 2 children, a boy and a girl, he cannot withdraw all his money because he has to pay the child support. So Yauruma adikwana ego a osefu hinya na bank. It means that this money, but all this I'm going to say now, depending on the inquiries or the investigation made by the police, because maybe upon NG believe what that na the incidences that surrounded Joe's case was not properly investigated. As a black man, they just acted the way they did, which is okay too. I can understand. But Yauruma, the issue of removing that money was approved by the country, I mean Austria, because during the time Frank Ageji, I don't think the authority to pay in that money into any account and then withdraw it in Canada. I don't know how that is the possible, because I got Hanania the money without knowing the source of that money. But I'm Opaya in cash with Labuo, then she must have to be confronted by the customs, because there is a universal law that every currency that are over the declaration limit of 10,000 euros must be investigated. So Yaruma, the country Austria, he allowed to move out with that money. It means that they have checked and they are seeing that that money was earned legitimately. Yakwa Molandiala in Canada, I check to confirm that yes, this money has been checked and it has been proved that it is not a proceed of crime before Frank Iborea Jijiba. And then for them to begin to talk about Iji Ajipofu Omo Mike, Mokano Ijiji begin to how to disburse and then share the money, where it now involve IK's participation and running here and there. Iji that now the money was shared. It means that that money has was legitimately earned, and both countries, Austria and Canada, has given their approval for that money to be transferred into their out and into Canada. So that means that this money was legitimate. So if going by that assumption now, it means that something has to be done, because Yauruma, that money that was earned legitimately, then we have to now begin to embark on the fact that now, how did Franca decide to keep all the informations that surrounds including that money, and the fact that Ajonwere, a surviving child who is a girl that was supposed to, because this is what I should have done, Yaruma involved. Maybe because stay here in Europe, monitor whatever toro shishi or batarani account mado, you have to account for it, and the government must know. So Agami will go bataya into the territory of Finland. What I will do is that, knowing about the law, how it is legal for the child, if that child is not up to 18, yeah, one of 15, 16, 15 or 12 years old, I can calculate the amount that is due to her to be used as the child support, a deposit area with the state, before the remaining one can be allowed to leave the country. So that being said, Yaruma, if that was not done, it means that there was a different intent to be able to sneak that money out of Austria. And this is where it has now come to the position that I have registered my own declaration that I'm not going to be part of that money, whether there is an agreement to share that money or not, because I term that money as a proceed of crime in the first place, even though Najo there, because staying here in Europe, nakuna a struggle, like as I said, I'm not gole the state minimum wage per hour. You understand me? So Yauroma, for example, if the minimum wage in the whole of Europe were 10 euro per hour, I don't know how many hours and what Joe could have done to be able to work to earn that 43,000 euros. So whatever he has done, the movement of that money has proved that that money has been cleared. And so there is no need of beginning to query the source of that money. So attention focus on now how to be able to keep it to benefit Joe himself. A daughter that has survived. So whether or the age of 18 or not, that money legally belongs to that little girl. So aga hapụrụ ya with that money to use to maintain herself. But ya wụrụ ma wanakpata ise chere dị Franca wụkwana onye wụzi onye wụpara now ka wụkwana onye make ya decision gbasara whatever happens in this family. Ọ ga-amasị m that they should go ahead. I have registered my own intention by participating to see that that money was transferred back to Joe's little girl. If that is not done, Franca decided that I get this money to be able to divert into using it to send Mike's children out of Nigeria, all of them, to Canada. Let her go ahead and do it. It's all for her. Ya chịkwana na ya ga-eji ya ebe Joe Shinwo in the communication they were having with Joe. I also was struggling to know at what point the discussion with Joe to be able to buy him a house. How did it shifted from buying a house to Joe now taking his own life? Ya I continue with that arrangement with Joe to buy a house which now will be inherited by Mike, to make him a landlord. So in as much as blood has been spilled, innocent child died because of that money. We are all keeping our fingers crossed to see. Yes. So ya ụma Chineke nọ nkwana onye echi na onwe ekpa mmiri ga-eji were echi n'eluigwe were takpọm n'ala alabari ma anyị. Nkwana ụkpa anwụ ga-eji were ejichaa ihu abaridini. So with everything that is happening, la mmanụ mere n'ime ọchịchịrị kpachi ụzọ were ji mee ya, ọ ga-emecha ọ ga-apụta ihu. Ụlọ agaghị eji ego ahụ were ji zụọ. Let them go ahead and buy the house. They will fix a tenant there. Let us see how they will live peacefully.